Whilst gas central heating is a popular way to heat our homes here in the UK, it's not necessarily the most efficient or reliable way to do so. Electric heating plays a vital role in transitioning us away from fossil fuels because it allows us to use up lovely, clean, renewable energy. Now, in many instances, heat pumps will be absolutely the perfect solution, but there are some homes for which it just might not work. And in that instance, it's great to know that there are some alternatives. Now, we actually saw one at our live shows earlier this year, and that was Truss Electric Heating. And they are the masterminds behind this, the Neos electric radiator, which is proudly produced and manufactured right here in the UK and in Yorkshire, more specifically. And we're here to find out a little bit more. Welcome to Everything Electric Tech. Our 3 free YouTube channels on EVs and clean energy tech are funded by our fun-packed test drive-tastic events in the North, West and Greater London, and our events down under. Next up, Everything Electric Sydney 2026. Plus, check out everythingelectric.store for merch and much more. Back to the episode. Tell us about how the Neos came about.
Well, my husband, he came out of the army and then he decided to work for an electric heating company. Don't ask me why, there's no synergy to what he did in the army to that. And he loved it, but he's very, very creative and he's very curious. And he thought there's a better way of, everybody's radiators were exactly the same. They just had a different, maybe, sales story. And he thought there must be a better way of getting heat into the room faster. Like we noticed people had cold feet. So you sit down on the sofa, the heat rises and your feet are freezing. How do we stop that? How do we de-strat a room faster? So we started buying things in, and I used to come home and things were stuck to the wall and don't go in that room, we're testing this, etc. And that's how it started.
And so tell us about the Neos specifically. Why is it special? Why should people be considering them?
I think with electric heating, it's interesting, isn't it? Because electric heating is deemed to be expensive. And obviously, currently, gas is a lot cheaper than electric. The difference is with electric is you can the controllability on it. And Scott, our inventor, has created some very different thermostats for different spaces, for universities, for homes, etc., etc. And the Neos is made out of aluminium, where most radiators are made out of mild steel. And aluminium conducts heat 2.9 times faster, so we get the heat in the room faster. It doesn't rust, holds its colour, so you don't have that kind of like tobacco colour, white, after a couple of years. It looks beautiful after even 25 years, it looks the same colour. And aluminium is one of the most recyclable metals. It's light as well, and we can do more with it as well. So that is one of the unique points of the Neos. Secondly, the Neos inside has got a soapstone core. And soapstone has been used 1,000 of years. So in the days of Downton Abbey when they used to warm the masters' beds up, they'd put a piece of soapstone in a hot water bottle. So that is what we use. So when the radiator gets to a temperature, it turns off and the stone continues emitting heat. For about another 40 minutes. It's already been charged, so it allows heat, depending on the installation really. And then the back panel, which is a pattern panel, we're the only people with this panel. It's a dimpled panel at the back and the air moves in. We keep the air in for a little bit longer, and how it moves, it creates cold air at the back and it doesn't lose a lot of heat into the back wall. So everything is about getting the heat into the room. And I think one of the biggest things is, and we're the only people in the world who do this actually, so I'm quite proud of that, it's modular. So we're the only radiator, so for universities we're in at the moment, if anything gets scratched or anything they think, oh, it doesn't look great, you can change the front, the sides and the top, change the colour and it's all brand new. It is the only one that does that. So red radiator today, yellow radiator tomorrow, and the day after you could have any colour you wanted.
I've noticed that a lot of the people here are wearing jumpers that say made in Britain.
Yes.
Is the supply chain totally based here?
Yeah, we're really proud that every single component that we've got is made in Britain. So we buy from the British supply chain, which means, if we get a £5 million order, for instance, 2.8 million goes into the British supply chain. So that is really good. The only component that we can't get from here is the stone. We don't have volcanoes over here. So that stone we actually currently get from Europe and we bring it in.
But even so, that is still a very, very local supply chain. So lots of people who will be exploring electric heating might be thinking about a heat pump. And we know that there are some properties that are great for heat pumps and there are others where an electric radiator might be a better solution. Are there particular types of property that you'd be like, this is the solution that you absolutely need?
I think heat pumps are a great solution, and we know that they're great for net zero, they're great for the country. We're not selling against heat pumps, but we know there's probably about 5 million properties that cannot have heat pumps, and that is because they're leaky. So if you have a retrofit, so a lot of housing associations, councils, old houses, etc., the heat pump won't do what you need it to do. Where something like us, is great. Like my house, for instance, you know, we've got gas and we've got electric and we've got a hybrid home. So if I'm in, I don't turn my whole gas on, I just turn one room in, and then I've got a smaller bill just heating the particular room I'm sat in.
Electric radiators can have many benefits, not least they are 100% efficient at the point of use, unlike a gas central heating system, which of course dissipates heat along the pipes as they flow around your home. Now, without pipes, you of course can just plug and play, which makes installation really easy, and of course maintenance as well. The other added benefit of just making this a bit more of a plug and play system is that actually you just can heat the rooms that you actually need within your home. So you can be a little bit more efficient with how you use heat. But of course, the perennial question, are the operating costs lower than, say, a gas central heating system? And as ever, the answer is it depends, because on a per unit basis, we know that gas is cheaper than electricity, and whether you will save money depends on how you consume heat in your own home. Are you consuming your own energy? What tariff are you on? So we really encourage that you do your own maths on that as well. Electric radiators can be 100% efficient, so 1 unit of electricity in, 1 unit of heat out. And presumably that means that you're not necessarily going to be saving money, but you are creating the opportunity to self-consume your own energy if you've got solar or battery or what have you. Is that a question that comes up of, is this going to actually save me money as a consequence?
That is one of the most popular questions we get. 1 kilowatt in and 1 kilowatt out. So no one can say that they're more efficient if you're on for an hour. So if you're putting a 1 kilowatt heater on in an hour and we're all electric radiators, well, and we're all paying the same rate, we'll all use exactly the same electric. However, where the NEOS has a little bit of an edge is obviously if we're on, say, for a 6-hour period, because we've got the Soapstone, we won't be on for 6 hours in total. We'll be on less. So you're not using as many kilowatts in the hour, where most electric radiators, or some electric radiators, you can turn on, then it turns off when it reaches temperature, then the room goes cold. Well, we continue sending heat in through the Soapstone. So that is the unique bit.
And are these completely plug and play, that you could just buy one, plug it into a socket, Bob's your uncle?
Now I can give you a drill now and a couple of brackets. It's made so simple that you can just go put one on the wall now.
So how have customers received their NEOS? What's the general feedback?
We have great feedback because we've got a 25-year guarantee. So one of the things that we always say is we've got a 25-year relationship. So that relationship from the beginning has to be right. You know, the industry sometimes it can be a little bit like take money and run, where we're not like that. We're called Trust for a reason. We're very transparent and we want to help our customers. And I would say they're our biggest innovators, because when they've got a challenge or a problem and they say, you know, during COVID, for instance, we had a lot of vulnerable people who couldn't alter the heating and we couldn't go into their homes. So from that we created CAVE, which is for the confined adults, vulnerable and elderly, and we can actually then say your grandma can't control the heating, she doesn't know what to do, we can remotely control it for her, and we can also show her cost benefits and everything. So they're actually responsible for our clever tech and our customers are responsible for our future, which is great.
Now, running any kind of business, of course, is going to come with its particular challenges. Perhaps, you know, some of those are quite acute here in the UK. If you could have a wish list of stuff that you could just ask for, and either that's from the government or from consumers or from other businesses, what would be on your list to make your life a little bit easier?
Well, I've got that wish list for you because I think about it every day. I think it's about speed. As a country, we give a lot of money to innovation, and we have got some amazing innovators here, and I'm in a net zero group, and there's some brilliant things that would help this country get to net zero faster. The issue we have then is the policy and regulations and approvals. That can take years, and there's no real direction of where we need to go. So I think if we're giving money out from, say, Innovate UK to companies like me, go and innovate, we innovate, how do we then commercialise decarbonise them quicker so we can get the country to where it needs to be, to that net zero target.
So, the big question, should you get a Neos electric radiator? Well, I hate to say, the answer is it depends. It depends on your budget, it depends on your home, and it depends on your very specific heating needs. But if, for example, you've sussed out that a heat pump isn't for you or you're off the gas network, then it's definitely worthwhile considering one of these. But also check out the other solutions that we've also shown in previous episodes as well. We'll make sure to link to all of those bits and pieces. But that's it. That's all that we have time for. So please do let us know what you think in the comments. Please do like and subscribe. And if you have been, thank you for watching.